Hey everyone, how are you? Nikki back again. Today we're going to be talking about people pleasing and what that means for 2023. I'm going to be doing some of these short videos. A lot of you that have followed my content through the years are used to me doing very long videos, very long live feeds, and interactiveness on those live feeds. One thing that I'm learning as we are moving forward in the energies that are occurring, that having good spiritual practice of safety and protection of your energy is going to be necessary as we move forward. So I found a way to reorganize, restructure, re-inspire, reimagine the work that I do in a way that it is more available to others and I'm protected in the process. With that said, today we're going to talk about people pleasing. This is coming up and has come up a lot in 2021 and 2022 in different layerings. And the first layering was like more of like resentment in 2020, 2021. A lot of people were starting to take note due to our isolation on just how much of ourselves we were giving away to others, just how much we were actually doing for others without any sort of reciprocity coming back. And in those moments, because where we're limited in growth or awareness or perspective, we might not have known that what we were seeking or asking for was reciprocity. So it would show up in ways of like you would do something and people would start to take advantage of it and just start to expect that you were going to do these things for them. And then after a while, they just lost all gratitude and thankfulness around that. Which then makes us feel like we're underappreciated, undervalued, um, the whole shebang, which breeds resentment and anger and rage, and even at subtle levels. And then in 2022, it was about, for many, understanding that they were in their own people pleasing program. And so now the resentment and judgment is towards self. It was external and now it's internal. And we're kind of coming out of that right now for some people. And the ask is for 2023 that everyone gets a chance to pull out of this because the people pleasing is a program. It's a program to keep you small. Many layers to these small programs that are big, that impact many, but they're designed as overlays. So you may not be a big people pleaser, but then you might be a critical person, right? Or you might be a judgmental person, or you might be an overthinker, right? So there's layerings of these different things, but everyone at some point has been impacted or has been a people pleaser in some way, shape, or form. And so moving forward for the future generations, the last 7 to 14 generations have taught us that being a people pleaser is not going to be beneficial for these future generations that are coming, that we have to shift this, that we have to heal it, that we have to grow past it. And that's where we are. And so there's a lot of what we call Kalima energy afoot right now, which is a good thing. It's a good thing. It's meant for inspiration. However, if you're someone that's been brooding or brewing uh, resentment or rage from how you've been treated, most of the time this will show up in the people that are very soft spoken, blend into the background. Most people would say that's a sweet person or that's a kind person, a meek person. Those are the ones usually that are the people pleasers that harbor that deep like resentment, that deep rage. Um, and we're going to talk about what that means. So there's other different varieties of people pleasing, but this is the one we're going to be speaking on today. People pleasing can show up in rearing children and cohabitation with partnerships and family members and friendships. It could show up with your neighbors. It's just a very rampant program to keep us in guilt and shame, embarrassment, to keep us from towing the line, to keep us from passing the line, right? Uh, if we're focused on pleasing others, then how do we learn about ourselves? If we're focused on taking care of everyone else's needs, then we must be a good person. That's a martyr. If we focus on everyone else, I'm distracted from who I am and what I'm avoiding, and my disconnection to something higher than myself that helps me walk in a good way that we could call a blade of grass. So, with people pleasing right now, a lot are feeling ready to break out of this. So, how do we do it? Well, first, it's an awareness. It's like calling yourself out on your own bullshit and having the courage to do that and going, okay, where have I allowed this people pleasing program to infiltrate me? Ownership, just own it, have accountability and own it and just say, okay, I did it. That's, yeah, that happened. All right, so we could judge it, but where does that get? Nowhere. That's another program. It just keeps you in a loop. So we judge it in the moment and go, okay, won't be doing that again, right? And then we follow the bouncing ball to where it started from, where it began from. You follow the truth. Keep asking. Don't be afraid of the ask. You got to ask, seek, and knock. So you got to really want and ask and choose to find that truth. So if you're really about it, if you're really about change, if you're really about healing, this is how you do it. This is a true, like, let's get to the root of it. Let's zero point this because it's not just for you. It's for the 7 generations after you and the 7 generations after them. So when we're looking at the people pleasing, we're asking ourselves our bullshit. Why do I allow this? Where does it come from? Who taught me this? We don't have to stay there. A lot of the times, that awareness is not asking for us to stay and play. Ick energy. No, it's just meant to bring us to the awareness so we can have that aha. And most of the time, in that aha, that's why a lot of people are searching for the aha. We can release something. We can release whatever's stagnant, being withheld within our body and our light body, our mental body, our physical body, our spiritual body. So in those moments when we have that aha, we could judge ourselves, but then we could go, oh my God, I'm so proud of myself that I found that. I'm going to use that as my compass point moving forward. Like I know that that's an area that I have to work on. This is self-actualization. This is self-awareness. This is the keys to learning about having emotional regularity, about having emotional intelligence. If you've been hearing these words pop around lately, emotional intelligence, I highly recommend researching it because it's not a word, 2 words that just mean one thing. It's a whole listing, cognitive thought, theory, emotional observation, empathy, being cognitive and aware of your surroundings and of others. It's a very important part of development that many have not received. So once we could pinpoint that, then we could do something about it. And emotional intelligence has a lot to do with people pleasing. Because sometimes what happens as people pleasers, especially the meek ones, the overly kind, the overly soft spoken, what happens with them is in the people pleasing program, and they are just wanting to be accepted. They're asking to be loved. They're asking to, you see me? You finally see me? And that comes from an inability to express from within what your actual needs, wants, and desires are. What are your asks for you, for your homeostasis, for your symbiosis, not only for yourself and your connection to something higher than yourself, but to your environment and those in your environment. And because we're not taught that, we're not taught how to learn those things. We do the opposite. We do what we're asking for in others in hope that those people have an emotional intelligence to see, oh, Nikki's doing this to please me. Perhaps I should take a look at what I could do to please Nikki. That's called reciprocity. Now, there is a difference in toxicity where somebody's standing there going, okay, I did that for you. Now give me something back. That's an expectation. That's like an ulterior motive. That's not the same thing as reciprocity. Reciprocity is knowing and having accountability and awareness over what your ask is and how in that ask you can give an offering to whom you're asking in fair exchange for that person. And that's what reciprocity is. And a lot of people aren't operating there right now. Let's give you another video. We're going to talk about reciprocity and like manipulation and what's it called? Selfishness. So it's going to be another video that we do. Coming back to people pleasing. Some of the things that we're learning as we're on this path is that we're people pleasing the people pleasers. You ever notice that you surround yourself with other people pleasers because they make you kind of feel normal, but then it's like a competition of who outpleases the other person. And then there's no real growth. It's just a matter of judgment and critical thinking of like criticizing yourself of like where they are and where you are. And I must be a shitty person because I'm not doing that, or you know what I mean? So there's layers to this stuff. So don't get overwhelmed. The very first thing is just identify it. Just identify where the people pleasing program still runs in you. And then don't judge yourself by it. Just sit with your creator, whatever's higher than yourself that helps you walk in a good way, and ask for the truth. Follow the truth. Ask how to heal it. I'm just here as a guide. I'm not asking you to think like me. I'm not asking you to believe like me. I am asking that you're willing to receive the information that I dove for 46 years in such darkness and depths and suffering and torture to come back and bring you this information so that you don't have to, so that the future generations don't have to. So I just ask that you receive this with an open heart, an open mind, and an open spirit. And with that said, I love you all. I'll be back again with another video talking about the next video is going to be on giving love to those that we feel don't receive it. And that's going to tie into the reciprocity. So we'll see you soon. Ona.